Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to my masterclass all about how to survive Halloween. I want to give you my best tricks for surviving Halloween, for surviving the Halloween treats. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jennifer Seven. I am the owner of Seven Company Weight Loss and Wellness Center. I have been helping men and women lose weight and get healthy for, about 12 years now. And I am excited to talk to you tonight about Halloween. Halloween is really the beginning of the holiday season. It is the beginning of the most delicious time of year, the time of year full of edible treats. It starts with Halloween. It's a slippery slope from there because then we go into Thanksgiving and then into Christmas and all the Christmas holidays and then into New Year's. So it really is the most edible time of year and the most challenging when you're trying to lose weight as well as to just maintain your weight. So I have some fun Halloween tricks for you. You may have thought of some of these already. And I would love for you to open your chat and chat me any questions or any of your own ideas for surviving Halloween. So we know that this season is just full of booby traps for us regarding treats. Candy for trick-or-treaters is everywhere. Soon there's going to be the Thanksgiving pies and Christmas cookies. But that doesn't mean we have to gain 10 pounds during this season. I like to think that if you take control now and you stay on plan, stay on protocol, you will be 10 pounds lighter by New Year's rather than 10 pounds heavier. Or at the very least, let's help you maintain. And the holidays are often at the time that we overindulge. We use it as an excuse to eat our favorite sweets. And again, it starts, like on the 31st of October, Halloween, and then it seems like it just doesn't end. And it's just a caloric nightmare. So here's my best tips, tricks for you to survive Halloween. First off, if you have not already bought your Halloween candy, then I want to say to you, just buy the bare minimum that you actually think you'll need for giving it out to your trick-or-treaters. I always suggest that you don't buy your favorite candy because often, and I've done this myself, I love Reese's peanut butter cups and it's Halloween and I'm going to give them to the trick-or-treaters, but I'm probably going to eat a bunch of them myself. So why even put yourself in that situation of being so tempted? Don't buy your favorite candy. Okay. If you're going to go trick or treating on Halloween, make sure you don't go hungry. If you're going out with your kids or whatever you might be doing, make sure you eat. And if you are following the ideal protein protocol, then have your dinner before you go, or whatever plan you might be following. Make sure that you eat a nice supper before you go out. Don't want to be starving because then you're going to be really tempted to indulge. So on the ideal protein protocol, we know that we have one restricted food a day. It typically is a bar, a yummy bar. So save your restricted item, your bar or whatever it might be, for that time when you're going to go trick-or-treating. So that way you can feel like you have something special, you have a treat. And what I would recommend is that you take your bar and you cut it into little tiny pieces, put that in a baggie. You could even throw it in the freezer before you go so it's nice and cold. And then as you're out trick-or-treating, if you feel the need to indulge in something, take a little piece of your caramel peanut bar or the cookie dough bar or whichever bar is your favorite. And if it's frozen, it slows you down, so you have to chew more. And that way you won't just gobble it all down. So take your time. So cut it up into little pieces. Now, when you are purchasing that candy for your trick-or-treaters, this is kind of a psychological thing, but consider buying big bars instead of those big bags of all the little tiny minis. That way, if you're giving out the big bars, it's a little bit more of a big commitment to open a big bar and eat it. It's so easy when you have a big bowl of all the little tiny minis to just eat a little here, eat a little there. They're so tiny that you don't even think that you are getting anything, but you are, and they add up. And those little tiny ones, before you know it, you may have eaten several bars worth. So buy the big bars. Kids will love it when they're trick-or-treating. They'll think you're so amazing, but it also will slow you down a little bit from overindulging in the candy. Make the commitment to yourself that you are not going to open the bags of candy until October 31st, until Halloween, because if you open it, the temptation will be there and you might sneak a few. So keep the bag out of sight, hide it from yourself. The day after Halloween, promptly give away the leftover candy. I mean, of course, if you have kids and you want to divide it up between your kids, but if you don't have kids, just get it out of the house right away. There are many dentists that will take your leftover candy and they ship it out to the troops. So look for something like that. I mean, it's okay if you just want to throw it out. If you really don't feel like you can do that, maybe just put it in the freezer and bury it. But best to get it out of the house. Okay, after you've gone through your kids' candy, and don't be stealing their candy. When I was a kid, we used to all get our candy out, us 3 kids, and we'd dump our candy out, and then we'd do all this trading. It was way fun because not everybody had the same favorites. So we would do that. But go through your kids' candy for safety and then bag it up in Ziploc bags and store it out of sight. Because you don't want to, again, the more accessible it is to you, the more likely you are to indulge. So put it away, put it in the freezer, put it in a cabinet. And then if I don't know how you do with your kids, but I don't know if you let them eat as much as they want on Halloween and then they have the tummy ache, or you ration it out, but keep it out of sight. Okay. That way you are not going to be like getting into that candy. Okay. If you really don't want to part with all the extra candy that you bought for the trick-or-treaters, the leftovers, allow the kids to keep 8 or 10 favorite snack bars or mini bags and portion them into Ziploc bags. And you could say, okay, this is going to be our candy for when we go to a movie or when we go on an outing. So we're going to put that aside for a special event. So you can use that strategy. Okay. Remember that even the smallest candy bars are high in sugars, and that is going to get in the way of your weight loss objective. And, our goal is to be in ketosis, but if we start filling up our sugar tank, we're going to get kicked out of ketosis. We're going to stall our weight loss and undo all the good that you've done. And it's kind of like when you get that sugar back on your tongue and in your mouth, then you're going to be craving it. Okay. So we already talked about cutting up your bar into small pieces. You could even wrap them individually. That's another good trick. Put them in the freezer, cut them up, wrap each one individually in saran wrap, because that'll take you some time to unwrap it and get it. You really have to work for it. So it's tactics to slow you down. Refrigerate or freeze your favorite wafer. It's the orange, strawberry, vanilla, chocolate wafers. Or again, I mentioned before, freezing your bar cut up. The wafers are absolutely delicious frozen. You could break them into 2. I think it would be very hard to cut them up. They'd probably break apart. For those of you that were lucky enough to get the buttered popcorn popped cakes, which are phenomenal, they are delicious. And I'm so sorry if you didn't get a chance to purchase them because they went on back order really fast. And now they're having supply issues trying to get them. So anyway, if you did get them, you could take them and you could also take the salted caramel clusters, mix them together, and then you have a fun, sweet and savory sensation. And you could, make little baggies, and then that could be your treat for the night. Quite decadent and delicious, but on target. You could go into the new Ideal Protein recipe book, the cookbook, and they have chocolate chip scones that you could make so that you can make yourself some scones. Maybe take those with you when you're out trick-or-treating. Gives you something sweet and delicious and maybe a little more filling. Coach Surrender and I showed you how to make those on our last cooking demo. So you can look at that on Facebook and see how to make them. One other idea, which probably won't be terribly popular, is instead of giving out candy to the trick-or-treaters, give them non-candy treats. And some people do pencils and, I don't know, Oriental Trading Company used to have all these big bags of little fun little things, whistles and this and that. So you could give out things instead of food. I don't know how popular that will make you on your street, but you can definitely give out little goodies that are not food, and that will help you so much. So remember, this is about doing what's best for you. This is about self-care. This is about taking care of you, not undoing all the hard work you've already done, staying the course. It's only one Halloween. If you do this right, next Halloween, you'll be able to indulge a little bit more. I already talked about doing candy that you don't like, and make a plan ahead. Make sure you have a plan for Halloween. Make sure you have some Ideal Protein foods and some phase 1 friendly options available. If you're going to a party or you're having at a party, make sure that you've planned to have some things that you can eat. And just think about how you can enjoy the Halloween spirit without negatively impacting your own progress. Remember that when you are saying no to the Halloween candy, you are actually saying yes to yourself and to your own personal goals. A couple more treat ideas that I wanted to give you. Yeah, and I'm just thinking about, the candies that's so available and the good prices and on sale, but it's everywhere. But we don't want you to be scared of this. So we want to just continue to give you some good ideas. All right, here are some favorite treat ideas. For those of you that haven't tried them, the chocolate soy puffs are amazing. And instead of doing like the chocolate covered raisins, you can have soy puffs, and those would be for you. I would suggest that you give these away, but these would be for you. And again, if you put them in the freezer, very delicious, very delicious. So Ideal Protein chocolate soy puffs. You could also try the Ideal Protein chocolate crispy square. We have the vanilla, but we also have the chocolate if you're really wanting some chocolate. You can cut that into bite-sized pieces, eat it like a mini chocolate treat. You can actually microwave the pieces for just like 10 seconds, and that gives it like a melted texture, which is so delicious with the chocolate crispy square. So that's another idea for you. And then finally, popsicles. You can use any Ideal Protein drink mix and treat yourself to a popsicle. You just take the Ideal Protein drink, which could be the orange drink, the peach mango drink. You could use the chocolate or the cappuccino. You want to mix it per the instructions with water. Stir it thoroughly. Get a popsicle mold and pour it in there and freeze. And then you have delicious, cold, nice popsicles. So you could have those in the freezer. You could have some of these treats set aside for you. And, we don't want you to overindulge, but this would be the one night where I would say, rather than eating all of the candy that you shouldn't be eating, if you have a second bar or you have a popsicle and you have soy puffs and you have a bar, I would rather see you overindulge with an Ideal Protein chocolate food or a treat than digging into those incredibly high sugar, high fat candies that are given out at Halloween. So I hope that this has given you some great ideas. Have fun with Halloween. Don't be afraid. There are things that you can do to get through this without sabotaging yourself. You've got this. This is about you. Enjoy Halloween, have fun, dress up, give away little trinkets, and get the candy out of the house promptly. My biggest advice to you. So you guys have a great night. Thank you for showing up. I'm really glad you did. And happy Halloween. Happy tricks or treating. All right, take care. Bye-bye.